My beloved child, there are people in this world who not only take my words lightly but deliberately reject every ounce of mercy I extend toward them. My grace is laid before them like a pure and refreshing river, yet they close their hearts like a cold iron gate, refusing light, refusing blessing, refusing to let my strength touch the hidden places within their souls. They do not realize that by rejecting my love, they are abandoning the only lifeboat that could carry them across the storms they themselves are about to face. But, my child, what I want to tell you today is not meant for you to judge them. It is to help you understand the special place where I have positioned you. You are not like them. You belong to me. You are the one I called by name long before your first breath ever touched this world. And my child, I need you to listen to this with your whole spirit, with your whole heart, with the deepest stillness within you, for every word I am about to speak is woven with love, protection, and the desire to lead you to the place where you must stand in the days ahead. You are the vessel I have chosen and preserved, not because you are more gifted, stronger, or more deserving than others, but because your soul trembled at the sound of my voice. In the deepest chamber of your heart, there is a tenderness I noticed long ago, and that very tenderness, your sensitivity, your honesty, has made you the fertile ground into which I can plant my words. I did not call you here by chance. Nothing I do is random. Every time I touched your thoughts, every time you felt the urge to pause and turn your heart toward me, every moment when something small happened, yet stirred your entire soul, those were the very moments I was drawing you closer. Do you know why I have called you so many times? Because you are stepping into an important season. A season where if you do not listen carefully, if you do not receive what I am giving, you will easily be swept into the noise, the fears, and the temptations around you. I do not want that for you. I want you to stand firm, remain clear-sighted, and stay covered under my protection. My child, there are paths I am about to open before you, paths your eyes have never seen, your heart has never imagined, and your understanding cannot yet comprehend. But to walk into them, you will need a different kind of strength. Not the strength you build on your own, but strength that comes from heaven, strength that flows only when you know how to stop, to listen, and to allow me to lead you, step by step. These next moments I am asking you to remain with me are not a requirement, they are a plea born out of love. I know what is coming. I see what you cannot yet see. I hear whispers from the future that you have never imagined, and I desire to prepare your spirit before you step into these things. Beloved child, when people reject my words, they lose the treasure I am longing to place in their hands. But you are opening your heart, you are paying attention, you are standing in my presence, you are in the very place where the most sacred things can be planted into the soil of your soul. Keep that posture. Let your heart be like an open garden, ready for the rain from heaven. For I do not always speak to you this way. There are seasons when I remain silent so you may grow, but today is not a season of silence. Today is a season in which I speak clearly, like a father drawing close to his child, placing a hand on your shoulder and speaking words that, if you hold on to them, will change the direction of your life. Listen closely, my beloved. What I am preparing to give you will not resemble anything you've received before. It is not merely encouragement. It is not only comfort. This is direction. This is the lamp I am lighting to illuminate each step you take. The days ahead will require you to be stronger than usual, more patient than usual, more discerning than usual. You will encounter choices that demand faith. You will face situations that seem complicated in human eyes but are simple in mine. I will go before you in everything, as long as your heart remains turned toward me. You are the vessel I have chosen. That does not mean you must be perfect. It only means you are willing to let me use you. Sometimes I choose those the world sees as weak to reveal my power. Sometimes I use those no one notices to accomplish things that astonish the world. Do not let anyone convince you that you are not enough. Do not let doubt dim the path I am leading you toward. I did not call you because you are flawless. I called you because you have a heart that listens. My child, there are seasons when you feel abandoned, yet in truth those moments are simply the times when I am working in silence, and today I reveal this to you. You are not forgotten. You have never been pushed aside. You are not someone I overlook. On the contrary, you are held in the palm of my hand. Your name is engraved upon my heart, and you are guarded like a treasure I will never release. I want you to understand that my presence has not left you for even a single breath, whether you perceive it or not. Know that every time you feel broken, I am there. Every time fear overwhelms you, I draw near. Every time you are weary, I uphold you with strength from heaven. There is no sigh you release that I do not hear. There is no tear you shed that I overlook. And even now, I am gathering each sorrow you carry and turning them into seeds for a new season, one of lifting up, of renewal, and of breakthroughs shaped by grace. My child, if you truly love me, keep your heart in sacred stillness a little longer, for I have not finished speaking. I am preparing to reveal to you the very things you will need in the days ahead. What I tell you today will become the anchor of your soul when great waves rise. It will be the cord that helps you discern what comes from me and what belongs to false voices. You cannot enter a new season without the equipment of heaven, and I, myself, am that equipment. My beloved child, you do not realize that throughout these past days, I have been refining your heart the way a silversmith purifies precious metal. I place challenges before you not to drain your strength, but to illuminate something you yourself sometimes fail to see. A genuine faith, a steady endurance untouched by the shifting winds of circumstance. I do not test you to measure your worth, for I know exactly who you are. I refine you so that you may recognize how deeply my seed has taken root within you. And now, as you look back, you will see that in every trial your faith did not disappear. It glowed even brighter in the darkness. Do you remember the days when your soul felt hardened by prayers that seemed unanswered? Do you remember the moments when you thought I was too far away, or worse, that perhaps I had fallen silent and left you on your own? Yet even in that silence, I was speaking. I spoke by placing you in circumstances that stretched your trust beyond the confines of comfort. I spoke through closed doors meant to keep you from stepping into places not meant for you. I spoke through long seasons of waiting so the roots of your faith could press deeper into the soft soil of patience. And I spoke through burdens that felt heavy so that your heart could be forged into greater strength. My child, those who speak empty words, who dismiss what is sacred, who chase the glitter of temporary lights, these are the ones who will stumble. And why? Because their words are only echoes, carrying no weight. Their boastful faith is a thin mist that disappears the moment trials arrive. They crave what is easy. They chase what shines without realizing that such things offer only fleeting satisfaction. They do not understand that none of these can hold them steady when real storms come. But you are different. You are not nourished by pretty phrases. You are sustained by truth, by love, by the countless moments when I lifted you in silence and wiped your tears when no one else could see. My child, I have seen the way you fought through moments when you believed you had nothing left to cling to. I saw you continue choosing to walk toward me, even when your heart trembled with doubt, with wounds, with exhaustion. I saw how you chose silence instead of following the negative voices that tried to pull you away. And you guarded your heart so those voices would not steal the peace I planted within you. You refused to let the poison of doubt overpower my gentle whisper. You held on to the light inside you, even when it flickered like a fragile flame in a fierce night wind. My child, what pleases me most is not the moments when you appear strong, but the moments when you are fragile yet still choose to believe. True faith is not measured by your strength, but by your willingness to lift your eyes toward me, even when you feel you barely have the strength to stand. True faith is not the absence of confusion, but the choice to return to me, even when confusion clouds your soul. You have done this. You have listened to me not only with your natural ears, but with the deep longing of your spirit, an inner place only I can see, and that is more precious than refined gold 100 times over. I want you to know that every moment you held on to what is good, even with the last bit of strength you had, has been remembered before me. I do not remember them to tally up merit, but to use those very moments as the foundation for the future I am building for you. You have no idea that your tears have reached heaven. You do not know that the questions you whispered in the night moved the deepest chambers of my heart. You do not realize that every time you swallowed disappointment so you could keep believing, the heavens trembled and the things I prepared for you began to open. My child, when I say you have stood firm, it does not mean you never swayed. It means that even in the swaying, you did not allow yourself to break. You are like a young tree in a storm. The branches may bend, the leaves may fall, but the roots remain anchored in the soil, and it is in those very winds that your roots grow deeper. The deeper the roots, the broader the canopy. You may not know this, but I do, and I am preparing to expand you in ways that will astonish even you. Beloved one, the beautiful thing I see in you is not perfection but desire. You have sought me not out of fear of punishment, but because your heart truly longs to belong to me. You thirst for truth. You yearn for guidance that is right and pure. You want to live in the light. And I have seen this in your late-night prayers, in the moments when you poured out your heart where no one could see, in the times you chose kindness while you yourself were hurting, and in the quiet sacrifices you made without recognition. I have seen all of it. I rejoiced when you chose to preserve the tenderness of your heart in a world hardened by pride. You have stood firm through the moments when I tested your heart with my silence. And remember this, my silence is never the proof of absence. It is the silence of a father watching to see if his child will remain steady. It is the silence of a craftsman waiting for the refining fire to reveal the true glow of precious metal. It is a silence full of love, not a silence of abandonment. My child, you have walked through things no one else knows you faced. You have carried burdens that seemed invisible but were heavy and real. And because of all this, I tell you now that I am pleased with you. Not because you are flawless, but because you have allowed me to transform you. Not because you never wandered, but because each time you did, you returned. Not because you are stronger than others, but because you have never hidden your weakness from me. The path you have chosen is not the wide, easy road filled with laughter and bright lights that appeals to those who seek comfort above growth. You have chosen the narrow way, quiet, unadorned, often avoided by those who are unwilling to be honest, steadfast, or anchored in a love that cannot be shaken by hardship. To many, it looks like a harsh path, but to you, it has been the one your spirit was drawn to, sometimes even before you fully understood why. And this choice unseen, uncelebrated, has prepared your heart to receive what is coming, something the world is about to witness, though not all will recognize. A great awakening is drawing near. It is a stirring that will not occur only within individuals, but across the heavens, the earth, and the long-established human structures that once seemed unshakable. Hearts that have slumbered in complacency will be roused. Souls that appeared forever lost in darkness will feel its trembling. This awakening is not born of human effort, but of my power, a divine call, shaking those who have slept too long in the shadows of ambition, fear, and aimless living. Even the earth itself will groan under the weight of humanity's folly. Ignorance, pride, and indifference have pressed upon creation like great stones no one wishes to acknowledge. Storms will rise in places long considered peaceful. Lands that have never tasted suffering will feel the force of unfamiliar winds. Places once thought immovable will begin to tremble. Waters will swell not to destroy, but to remind humanity that the earth does not belong to them, and they cannot rule as they please without consequence. Even the air will shift, carrying signs that those with spiritual sight will recognize immediately. These things do not come to plant fear in your heart. They come as a bell of awakening. Like light piercing the night, they offer those sinking quietly into darkness a chance to turn back. Every disturbance upon the earth does not exist to crush humanity, but to lead them back to truth. For darkness, no matter how deep, cannot swallow the light I have planted within those who listen, and it is in the moment when darkness is at its widest reach that the light within, my prepared ones, will shine the brightest. That light is within you. It is not a light produced by your own strength or intelligence. It is a flame I placed deep within your soul long before you became aware of your own existence. Your task is not to create this light, but to keep it burning, to protect it from the winds of life, to preserve it from the dulling touch of doubt, to guard it from the fear that would cause it to fade. That light is not only for you, but also for those you will soon meet, those searching desperately for a glimpse of hope amid the ruins of their lives. The words of Matthew 5:14 resound with great power in this hour. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. This is not merely instruction, it is affirmation. You were not born to be concealed, nor to remain silent in a sea of confusion. You were created to shine not in the ways of the world, but in the ways of heaven, gently, truthfully, steadfastly, guiding without imposing, bringing peace rather than pressure. Within you, I see a small yet enduring flame, not loud or boastful, but deep burning, strong enough to withstand fierce winds and capable of igniting other flames. This is why I chose you to walk the narrow path, not to leave you isolated, but to form you into a bearer of light, precisely at the moment the world needs it most. When you see storms rising, do not assume defeat. When you see waters sweeping away what once seemed indestructible, do not fear. When the sky shifts in ways you do not understand, and when familiar structures in your life begin to collapse, do not imagine that I have abandoned you. All these things come to expose what has been decaying for a long time, so the world may finally discern what truly endures and what does not. Amid these movements, you will meet those who have lost their direction, souls too fragile to find a path by themselves, lives once stable now trembling like leaves in the wind. They will need the light within you not because you are perfect, but because you have known darkness, and you know how to recognize a spark of hope, even when it is faint. You are the one who understands what it means to wait through the night, and that is why you will know how to guide others. The light I have planted within you carries the seed of restoration, not a temporary recovery, but a renewal that rises from the roots, from the deepest place within. When you share that light, you are not merely offering hope to others, you are planting within them a new spark of life, something that allows them to rise again after brokenness, to look at their lives from a different perspective, and to recognize that they have never been abandoned. Your calling is not to change the entire world, but to illuminate the part of the world into which I have placed you. Even a small candle can drive away the darkness in a vast room, and from that room, the light will spread to other places. This is how I will use you, quiet yet powerful, unseen yet effective, gentle yet deeply stirring. You may ask yourself, how can someone like me influence such vast movements? I want you to remember that every great transformation begins with a single heart. Every revival is born from a soul willing to kneel. Every awakening starts when one person dares to say yes to a heavenly call. You are that person not because you are the strongest, but because you are willing. In the days ahead, there will be moments when you feel as though you are swimming against the current, but do not forget, The strongest currents always lead to the vast sea. Those who move upstream are also the ones who witness landscapes that the ones who give up will never see. You are being led to become someone I can place where I desire, at the right moment, to fulfill the mission I have assigned to you. The narrow path is never the easiest to walk, but it is the path that leads to life, and because you have chosen it, I will not let you walk it alone. I will walk beside you in every breath, every new day, every trial. I will teach you to see with the eyes of faith rather than emotion. I will teach you to discern my true voice among the countless noises of the world. When you keep that flame burning brightly, I will use you to awaken others. They will see something in you that they cannot find in the world. They will wonder why you remain calm in the storm. They will search for the reason you do not crumble when everything around you seems to fall apart. And in that moment, you will know that it is my light shining through you, my beloved child. What I am inviting you into is not merely a gentle refuge or a quiet place of healing. You are not called only to be comforted, but to become a voice of light in places starved for truth. I am not placing this mission on your shoulders to frighten you, but to help you see that within your soul burns a flame that even darkness hesitates to approach. You are not only loved, you are chosen to reflect that love. You are the ember in the long night, the lamp lifted high to guide those who believe they have no way out. And from that place, you will understand that this calling has never been an easy journey. It demands courage, steadiness, and a heart that clings to my life-giving presence, even when the world looks at you with doubt. For, my child, not everyone is ready to receive the light. Some hearts have grown so accustomed to darkness that light feels unsettling and painful. Some see truth in your words yet turn away, for facing the truth means facing themselves. They may mock you, mislabel you, or dismiss the gentleness in your voice as weakness. But do not let your heart tremble. Do not let their words become a blade that makes you question the mission I planted within you. Remember this: their rejection is not aimed at you, it is aimed at the light I have kindled in you. As it is written in John 1-5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. You are called to shine, not to be accepted by all, but to remain faithful to the light that gave you life. There will be days when you feel drained by the whispers around you, the cold stares, and the words that pierce your heart like sharp arrows. There will be nights when you lie still in the darkness and quietly ask yourself, Lord, is this worth it? Why must I endure these attacks when all I want is to bring peace to others? And there will be moments when it feels as though even your soul is close to breaking. But I tell you this, do not let go too quickly. Not a single tear you shed falls without me lifting it into my hands. Not a single sigh escapes your lips without me hearing it. I do not merely stand beside you, I cover you like an invisible armor that only those who belong to me can perceive. When you tremble, I am the arms around you. When you lose courage, I am the root that steadies you. When everything around you grows dim and uncertain, I am the one true direction that never shifts. Let me tell you this: your mission is not measured by the applause of people, but by your faithfulness to the light I have placed within you. Do not let criticism convince you that you are insufficient. Do not let harsh words cause you to shrink back. Yes, there will be days when the weight seems too heavy to carry. There will be moments when you want to stay silent just to avoid facing one more accusation. There will be times when you long to retreat to the safe places, places where no one looks at you, where no one judges you, where you can exist unnoticed. But hear me, child, the destiny I entrusted to you has never lived in those safe places. It is found where the strongest winds blow. It is found where my voice rises above the noise of countless opposing sounds. It is found where you dare to stand firm, even when it feels like you are standing alone on trembling ground. Remember this: Every opposing voice is not fighting against you as a person, but against the truth I have placed upon your shoulders. And truth never needs to be defended by anger. It simply needs the one who carries it to stand unwavering and unafraid. You were not sent into this world to please everyone. You were sent to awaken sleeping hearts, to stir souls that have grown numb, to bring hope to those who have lost faith in themselves. This journey demands more endurance than you imagine, yet it is far more beautiful than you realize. For every time you choose to remain faithful, you are breathing life into the words I planted within you from the very beginning. And when you feel too exhausted to take another step, turn inward into the place where I dwell. Feel the gentle rhythm of my breath echoing through your heartbeat. Let it remind you that I have never stepped away from you, not even for a single moment. I am your shelter when the storm rises. I am the shoulder you lean on when the world becomes unbearably loud. I am the strength that lifts you after every stumble. My wisdom is the compass guiding you through the fog your eyes cannot see through. My love is the anchor keeping your soul from being swept away by the harsh waves of judgment and misunderstanding. Let my presence become the sanctuary you return to whenever your heart grows heavy. In that place, you will see that you are not alone. You will recognize that every trial is merely preparation shaping you to stand firmer, deeper, brighter. And when you step back into the world carrying the light born from that sacred place within you, you will not walk by your own strength, but by my power, power that cannot be extinguished, no matter how deep the night may be. My beloved child, I must now open your eyes to a part of the picture that is coming, so your heart will not be shaken when the familiar begins to tremble. What I have planted in your understanding, if it is not accompanied by steps of obedience, becomes like a riverbed that has run dry, no flowing water, no ability to refresh or give life to anyone. The knowledge I have given you is not meant to be stored away like a precious artifact locked behind glass. It is meant to become a source of life, to take shape through action in a world that is staggering. The days ahead will not merely bring surface-level disturbances, nor simple changes in the news or in the conversations among humankind. The shaking will reach into the deepest layers of nations, families, communities, and especially the human heart. Systems that once seemed indestructible will suddenly reveal their fragility. Names that were once praised will show the fractures hidden within. I do not speak this to plant fear, but to help you understand that I am shaking what has been built on sand, so that only what is built on the rock may stand when the storm comes. As Hebrews 12:27 reminds you that God shakes all things, so that only the unshakable may remain. Keep this truth engraved within you, for it will be the key that keeps you from panicking when everything around you shifts. You will witness leaders choosing darkness over light, deception over truth, and self-interest over righteousness. They may appear to walk with confidence, yet in reality, they tread upon fractured ground. When the appointed time comes, their steps will falter, their words will lose power, and the influence they once wielded to control the weak will dissolve like morning mist under the sun. Structures built on deceit, greed, and injustice will begin to crack. The things people once admired will expose the emptiness behind them. Many cries will rise, and you will see people tremble because what they relied on for so long will no longer offer safety. But I want you to clearly distinguish between collapse and despair. Collapse is not the end, it is the herald of rebirth. When an old and decaying building is torn down, the purpose is not to leave an empty wasteland, but to prepare for a new foundation, a new design, a work that is stronger, clearer, and aligned with the original intent I had ordained. Therefore, when you see corrupt systems being exposed, do not despair like the rest. When you hear of celebrated figures being unmasked, do not conclude that the world is nothing but darkness. Every empire built on pride, greed, and unrighteousness, when it falls, opens space for justice to enter. Every frozen heart that seemed long dead in apathy but is suddenly stirred by truth can become a new source of light. I waste none of the shaking. I use these upheavals as tools like plows, shovels, and cleansing rains to break open ground that is hardened like concrete, so the seeds of righteousness, mercy, humility, and genuine love can be sown and take root. I see far beyond what humans see. While many only see ruins, I see the result of purification. While they see loss, I already see the young grain sprouting. Your role in all of this is not to stand at a distance, pointing fingers or casting judgment. You are not called to cheer for destruction as though it were some bitter victory. I have placed you as a guide in the valley of chaos, a small, steady voice within the roar of confusion. When darkness seems thicker than ever, that is precisely when the light within you must shine more clearly, more gently, and more persistently. I call you to step into the midst of those who have lost their way, not with an attitude of, "I knew this would happen," but with a heart willing to bend down and bandage wounds, to sit with the grieving, to weep with those who mourn, and to hold trembling hands without forcing them to rise at your pace. You are entrusted to bring comfort, but not with empty words. The comfort you carry must flow from the journey you have walked through, nights of wrestling with doubt, through moments when you collapsed and I lifted you up. It is the healed scars of your own soul that will help you understand and touch the unhealed wounds in the souls of others. There will be moments when you encounter people so overwhelmed by despair that their eyes no longer reflect even the faintest glimmer of hope, and their words are heavy with bitterness and doubt. They may ask you difficult questions. If God is real, why is everything falling apart like this? If He is righteous, why do the wicked prosper, while those who long to live upright lives suffer so much? In those moments, you may feel small, as though no answer could ever be enough. But I do not ask you to offer high philosophies. I simply want you to become the vessel through which my living water flows. Sometimes the hope you offer is not found in perfect explanations, but in your steady presence, in the way you listen wholeheartedly, in a simple yet sincere whisper. I don't have all the answers, but I trust the one who is here with us, even in the ruins. When you choose to stand there with trembling faith and still hold on to me, you become a living testimony of a hope not built on circumstances, but on the one who never changes. Remember that you will not always feel ready to offer hope. There will be days when you yourself are wrestling with your own questions, carrying unspoken burdens, still waiting for answers. Yet if you wait until you are perfect, until every crack in your soul is mended, you will never begin. I do not look for flawless vessels. I search for those who know their weakness, yet are willing to be filled by me. In your fragility, my strength becomes more visible. In your hesitation, my grace reaches deeper into the hearts of those watching you. Each time you choose to stand with hope instead of surrendering to despair, each time you decide to trust in my faithfulness in the midst of troubling news, you are lighting another candle in a room that once seemed to hold only darkness. Therefore, my child, when the foundations around you begin to shake, remember that I do not change. When those once celebrated fall from their pedestals, remember that my throne never trembles. When an entire old order collapses, ask me, Lord, what new thing are you building? And then you will see your role more clearly. You are not merely watching, you are invited to take part. You will be the one who reminds others that even among the ruins, there are stones that can be used again. You will be the one who gathers the shattered pieces of broken lives and places them in my hands. You will be the one who whispers to weary souls, "This is not the final line. This is the beginning of a new story, if you let Him continue writing it." And when you remain faithful to this calling, no matter how the world shifts, the light I have placed in you will continue to burn, guiding many back to the true source of life. My beloved child, from here on, your journey will enter bends in the road, where each choice will not only shape the path you walk, but will also refine your soul to become sharper, gentler, and deeper. There will be crossroads filled with trials that force you to face your own courage, places where each decision demands genuine sacrifice, where your patience is tested as gold is tried in the fire. But I want you to understand this. No trial comes to destroy you. They come to open your eyes, to forge you, and to strengthen the light within you until darkness cannot pierce through it. At each of these crossroads, choose the path of truth, even when it is inconvenient. Choose the path of mercy, even when your heart is tired. And choose the path of love, even when your heart wants to close itself off, for these are the weapons darkness can never withstand and never conquer. As Romans 12:21 declares, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." This is the compass that will guide you through the days when the sun seems hidden. Remember this, my child. The world you live in is a mirror reflecting the hearts of the people within it. When love is nurtured, light will break forth like green shoots rising after a long winter. But where hatred is left unchecked, darkness grows like black roots gripping the hardened soil. When you see harshness spreading, when you witness hearts becoming numb, do not be quick to conclude that this world has lost all hope. These things only reveal that there are places long abandoned, hearts that have gone without warmth for too long, and lives left uncared for until they have become cracked and barren ground. And I have chosen you to step into those very places, not to judge, not to compare, but to sow the seeds. No one else has the patience to plant, to tend the patches of earth that many have already given up on. Your mission is to sow, to water, to guard, and to offer small acts that carry the value of heaven. Many times you will wonder, do my gentle words mean anything? Can a single act of kindness change anything in a world so hardened? And I want you to know this. No act of love is ever wasted. No prayer disappears into emptiness. No effort born of kindness is meaningless. Even the smallest gesture, a soft inquiry, a word of forgiveness, a sincere smile, a whispered prayer, ripples outward like waves across a still lake, touching lives you may never see with your own eyes. Imagine a quiet, unmoving lake. A tiny pebble dropped into it creates circles that widen again and again. You are like that small pebble. But what I have engraved into your soul is not smallness, but the capacity to spread. When you speak a kind word to someone who is unsettled, you are not only easing their heart in that moment, you may be changing their entire day, changing the way they treat others, changing how they see themselves. You cannot see all of this, but I can. I see every seed you sow living on, taking root, pushing upward, even in places of shadow. I see every prayer you lift, nurturing someone in a place you do not know. My child, I know there are moments when you feel you are nothing special, just an ordinary person among millions. But I want you to understand this. It is often those who believe themselves ordinary whom I choose to change the world in quiet yet enduring ways. Great things do not always appear with noise and spectacle. Many of the greatest things begin with a very small action, a very soft heart, a very simple yes. When you choose to enter the places others have abandoned, you open the way for new life to sprout. You will encounter hearts drained of hope. You will meet people so wounded that they believe they are unworthy of anyone's love. You will meet those who have built walls around their souls because they have been hurt too deeply. But approach them with the patience of a gardener, not rushing, not forcing, not demanding results. Know that sometimes your presence alone is enough to melt the frost within them. A timely word, an understanding gaze, a hand placed gently on their shoulder, any of these can become the doorway through which I enter their lives. I have not called you to change the entire world in a day. I have called you to change hearts one at a time with light, with compassion, with sincerity. And those hearts, once healed, will continue to spread goodness to other places, forming a woven network of light far wider than you can imagine. This is how heaven moves, quiet but certain, slow but unstoppable. And I want you to remember this. Every brick of light you lay down is never wasted. When you choose truth instead of following the crowd, you are rebuilding foundations for those who watch you. When you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, you are opening a new path for those who believed life held only bitterness. When you choose love instead of fear, you give others the chance to see me through you. You never know who is observing your life, who is lifted simply by witnessing your faithfulness in the smallest of things. My beloved child, now, I want you to listen carefully, for these words are not only meant to comfort you but also to prepare your soul for a new season, one in which the light within you will become clearer, bolder, and deeper than anything you have ever experienced. Your voice, though gentle like an early morning breeze, will never be swept away by the storms of life. That gentleness is not a sign of weakness, but living proof that your heart is anchored in my peace, a peace no one can take from you, no circumstance can suffocate, and no criticism can diminish. Your presence will become a refuge for weary souls, for they will sense in you a stillness that does not come from this world, but from the eternal source of life itself. Through you, many will remember a truth they have forgotten for too long, that they have never walked through a single storm alone. My child, I know there have been shadows trying to cover you, trying to pull you off course, trying to make you doubt your own worth. I have seen the moments when you felt as if the light inside you was about to go out, when you felt you no longer had the strength to continue. But carve this truth deep into your heart: evil has not defeated you. It never has. The only thing it managed to do was delay the moment when your destiny would bloom like a flower that hesitates to open in the cold. Yet, when the sun rises, it blossoms far more brilliantly than all the others. The light I placed within you does not depend on emotions, circumstances, or the opinions of people. It comes from me, the one who never changes, and therefore no force has the right to extinguish it. As Isaiah 60:1 writes, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." You are the one in whom this word is now being fulfilled. Those who have ignored my voice, those who mocked my guidance, those who dismissed the sweetness I whispered into their souls, one day they will recognize the emptiness they have been embracing. People may chase illusions of success, fame, or power, but no one can live forever within a spiritual void. The time will come when they feel the dryness of their own hearts, the loneliness behind their laughter, and the hollowness within the things they once believed were important. In that moment, some will return, will repent, will run to me with broken hearts longing to be healed. I will receive them, as a father opens his arms to a wandering child who has finally come home. But there will also be those who resist until the very end, for darkness has become familiar to them, and the light feels uncomfortable. I do not require you to change their choices, for those choices rise from their own hearts. My child, your calling has never been to judge. I did not send you to point out the faults of others, to measure them, or to criticize their weaknesses. You are not a judge. You are a lamp. Your role is not to condemn, but to illuminate. If you choose judgment, you will only see the cracks. But if you choose to shine, your light will enter even the broken places, helping others recognize the potential for restoration that they never saw before. To shine is not to speak loudly, it is to live deeply. It is not to impose, it is to invite. It is not to prove yourself right, it is to reflect my goodness with steadfastness, humility, and quiet strength. And therefore, understand that your mission is not built on human approval. You do not exist to please people, nor does your work depend on their applause. You stand firm because I have placed you where you stand. When I send you somewhere, I always send enough grace with you so that you can complete what I entrust to you. I have heard your silent prayers, the moments when you ask me, Lord, why was I chosen? Why must I step into places that frighten me? And my answer is this: because the light within you was designed to shine in places where others are afraid to go. I did not choose you because you are strong. I chose you so that my strength may be revealed through you. There will be people who see your light and rise because of it. But there will also be those who look at that same light and feel discomfort, like someone who has lived too long in darkness and is suddenly blinded by the morning sun. Do not use their resistance as a measure of your worth. You are not responsible for their emotions. You are only responsible for being faithful with the light I placed in your hands. When you continue to shine even when misunderstood, you soften the hard stones within the hearts of others. When you choose love instead of anger, you echo heaven's voice in places that have never known compassion. When you choose patience with those who hurt you, you show them a reflection of me, the part of me they have forgotten, lost, or perhaps never known. I know there are moments when you want to step back, moments when you wonder, is the light I carry truly worth all this pain? But my child, remember that this light is not only for you, it is for the souls drowning in despair whom no one sees. It is for those standing on the edge of giving up, whose silent cries go unheard. It is for hearts so exhausted that even the smallest ray of light is enough to help them find hope again. You are that ray of light. So keep walking. Continue living with grace, speaking with truth, and loving with the gentleness I have planted within you. Your light, my light, reflected through you will scatter confusion, draw wandering souls back to safety, and remind the world that darkness never has the final word. You are a witness, a bearer of hope, a pathfinder for many lives waiting for a gentle touch of heaven. My beloved child, you are now stepping into a season where every decision you make, every direction you choose, every word you speak will carry a deeper weight than ever before. The time is approaching, the time when the true significance of every choice will be laid bare, and nothing will remain hidden in ambiguity. I want you to be ready not merely to endure, but to stand firm and act with the clarity I give you, with the conviction forged through the days you have learned to trust me. The readiness I speak of is not an outward preparedness, but an inner awakening where your heart knows what is real, what is fleeting, and how to place its steps upon foundations that cannot be shaken. You are entering a period where your role will exceed what you once imagined, because I am shaping you into a vessel through which my light will spread, a voice I will use to awaken souls who believed hope was lost, and a gentle yet steadfast strength in a world swept into turmoil. I will give you visions, glimpses of what is coming. At first they may seem vague, like unformed strokes on a great canvas, but do not fear. They will become clear as you walk forward. You will see storms rising, sometimes storms within the human heart, sometimes storms among nations, places where injustice is exposed and things once thought unshakable collapse overnight. You will see forests weeping, symbols of what is good being destroyed by greed and indifference. You will see cities divided by pride and fear, where people build walls instead of bridges and choose confrontation instead of dialogue. Yet in the midst of these scenes, I will also show you beauty hearts reignited after years of coldness, people brave enough to reach across boundaries of nation, religion, and class to lift one another as true brothers and sisters. I will let you witness communities being rebuilt from ruins, not upon shallow foundations of personal gain, but upon integrity, compassion, and enduring truth. These things are not meant to instill fear within you, but to help you understand that you are not walking into the future by accident. You are being prepared, equipped, and upheld by me. My child, the path of righteousness is never smooth. Those who walk it must carry both courage and humility. courage to face opposing voices, suspicious eyes, and challenges that require true sacrifice, and humility to remember that every strength you have comes from me. Every victory springs from my grace. Every light you shine is merely a reflection of the light I placed within you. Humility protects you from pride when praised and keeps you from collapsing when misunderstood. It is the invisible armor that allows you to pass through deep valleys without letting your ego overshadow obedience. I know there will be moments when you tremble at what I reveal. You will think you lack the strength to continue, that the mission I have entrusted to you is too great for your small capacity. But do not forget, I never assign a calling without equipping. I never send someone into a place I have not gone before. You are not the one clearing the path alone. I go before you, I walk beside you, and I guard behind you. As Psalm 32:8 says, I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go. I will counsel you, with my loving eye upon you. This is my guarantee for every step you take. When you see the storms, do not assume they come to devour the world. Often, storms come to sweep away what must change, to create space for what is new to grow. When you see forests mourning, know that new seeds are being planted in the soil. When you see divided cities, know that reconciliation is preparing to dawn. I never allow light to be extinguished. I always preserve a spark, and more often than not, you are the one I will use to breathe it back into flame. There will be moments when you witness others stumble, when you see the strong reveal their weakness, and when those who seemed incapable of error fall into mistakes. Remember this, the purpose of such moments is not for you to judge, but for you to understand that complacency has never been a ladder to truth. You are not called to stand above them and measure their shortcomings. You are called to open a path toward restoration. You are the one who plants hope when all others see only despair, the one who rekindles harmony where every corner echoes with conflict. There will be times when visions weigh heavily on your heart, visions of suffering people, broken places, and wandering souls. You will ask me, Lord, how can I help them all? And I will whisper to you, you do not need to help them all. You only need to be faithful to the portion I've entrusted to you. You are not called to do everything, but you are called to do what you can, with all the love I have placed within you. And what seems small in your hands will become a vital link in the greater work I am unfolding. I want you to know that the clarity you need does not come from the knowledge of this world, but from your deep connection with me. When you spend time in my presence, everything becomes clear. When you pray, the fog within your mind dissolves. When you listen, my plans unfold before you like a stream flowing through a barren desert. And when you walk forward, you will realize that I have gone ahead of you, preparing the way and placing the help you did not expect. Continue on, my child, not rushing, but not halting either. You were chosen for this moment not by coincidence, but because I know what I have planted within you, and I know the strength that will rise when circumstances demand it. And one day, when you look back on the path you have taken, you will see that every trial, every vision, every word I spoke to you was preparing you to become a light in the darkest of days. My beloved child, there will be days when darkness tries to cloud your sight, leaving you confused by what you see and hear. There will be times when you are tempted to despair, to wonder why evil still exists, why injustice seems to speak louder than righteousness, and why goodness sometimes grows so quiet it appears to vanish. These moments are not signs of my absence, but invitations for your faith to rise like a flame meeting the wind. Engrave this truth in your heart: light shines brightest in the deepest darkness. If the sun never set, you would never see the beauty of the stars. If trials never came, your soul would never grow into the strength I destined for you. Every trial you overcome carves into your spirit a new capacity for endurance, one that peaceful days could never produce. Every act of faith, whether a whispered prayer, a steady step, or a choice to embrace goodness rather than evil, strengthens not only you but also the world that watches your example. What you do in faith spreads like refreshing water seeping into parched ground, causing seeds of hope in others to awaken. As James 1:12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." That promise is not only for your distant future, it is unfolding in every step you take right now. My child, the enemy of your soul never stops trying to distort the purpose I placed within you. It sows doubt in your mind to make you question what I have spoken, plants fear in your heart to make you retreat, and drains strength from your spirit so you forget your true worth. But you must understand this. Darkness gains power only when people give it authority through fear, left unchecked, through passivity when they should rise, and through doubt that causes them to dim their own light. The enemy cannot steal the light within you. It can only try to make you question it. When you rise in faith, your very stance becomes a fierce declaration against the darkness. When you speak with patience and kindness, you disarm the enemy's weapons. When you act with justice and love, you break the invisible chains the darkness uses to imprison weary souls. Every time you choose what is right, the light I placed in you expands wider, deeper, stronger. This is not a battle you are left to fight alone. It is a battle I am fighting with you, in you, and through you. You are never alone, not even in the moments when everything around you seems to be shaking. I am with you in every breath you take, every step you walk, every fragile second in which you feel yourself growing weak. I surround you with invisible armies, angels sent to protect you, to uphold you, to hinder the dark plans you cannot see. There are accidents you never had to face, not because you were lucky, but because I stopped them before they came near. There are dangers that could not touch you, not because you were skillful in avoiding them, but because my angels stood between you and the shadows. You may not see them, but your inability to see does not make their truth any less real. I give you courage, not the reckless kind that drives people into foolish risks, but the kind born from a soul that knows it will never be abandoned. I whisper wisdom into your mind, not so you may grow wise according to the measure of the world, but so you may know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to move forward and when to wait. That wisdom does more than carry you through trials. It makes you a haven of peace for those searching for light. Your strength, my child, does not come only from your will or your abilities. That strength is a gift I have placed in you, a gift refined through the choices you make every single day. Every time you choose trust over fear, patience over haste, love over resentment, that gift is sharpened a little more. It is also nurtured by your faithfulness in the smallest things, in the unnoticed acts, in the quiet prayers whispered where only I can hear. Those very moments are what make your soul steady, so that when a true storm rises, you do not get swept away but stand firm like a pillar in the wind. My beloved child, I see every silent battle you fight, those struggles no one else knows about, the hidden wounds, the nights you cry quietly because you do not want to trouble anyone. I see it all. And I want you to know that not one moment of your journey is meaningless. Each part is shaping your strength, a strength not born of pride, but of deep dependence on me. A strength not sustained by applause, but by your quiet obedience. A strength capable of lifting your own soul, and strong enough to lift the soul of someone else. My dear one, I want you to open your heart fully to receive these words, for they flow from the love and wisdom I prepared for you long before you knew yourself. Do not allow your spirit to wither as you step into the days ahead, because I do not hide from you that the road before you will test even the mightiest hearts, the souls that once believed they could never be shaken. But these tests are not meant to break you, they come to build you, strengthen you, and reveal everything I am forming within you. There will come a time when you face things your heart never imagined, betrayal where you expected loyalty, deception in places where truth should have lived, and sorrow falling in the very places you once called joy. Yet, my child, I speak this to you with unchanging love. Even the bitter things are woven into my refining plan. No trial touches you unseen. No tear you shed falls without my notice. Every hardship you encounter becomes a furnace that purifies the gold within your soul. What you perceive as loss is often the cleansing of your intentions. What feels like an obstacle is shaping you into someone deeper and more discerning. As you walk through trials, everything that does not belong to your destiny will fall away. Everything that is not of my design for your life will burn like straw in the flame. I am clarifying the vision I placed inside you, a vision you can only perceive with eyes that have known tears and a heart that has learned to trust in the darkest night. There will come moments when storms rise without warning, with fierce winds that tear down even the things that once appeared unshakable. But when the storm rages, I want you to remember that you carry an anchor that can never break, and that anchor is me. I am not a temporary refuge. I am the foundation that never changes. When you place your heart in me, the storm only reveals more clearly the strength of the anchor that holds you. And when the night seems endless, remember that dawn always arrives on time. No night lasts forever, and no tear you shed is ever wasted. I am still working, even when you cannot see it. My light continues to slip through every narrow crack of the long night. My child, do not let pain make you forget who you are. You are the vessel I have chosen not because you are flawless, but because I am perfect in the way I work through you. You are the jar I fill with light, and through you that light will pierce through every layer of darkness the world has built. You are not chosen to shrink back from trials, but to shine even brighter when the darkness thickens. I have breathed my spirit into you and entrusted you with a mission far beyond what your eyes can see. It is your faithfulness that will open the path for light to reach places you have never imagined. I know there will be times when you feel alone, moments when you believe you are walking through a valley void of human presence. But remember this, I have never left you, not even for the span of a single breath. You have never walked through a storm by yourself. When you collapse, I am the one who lifts you up. When you stumble, I am the one who brushes the dust from your knees. When you are weary, I do not demand that you run. I let you lean on my shoulder and rest. As I declared in Deuteronomy 31:8, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That promise is the cord that ties your heart to hope, to a strength greater than your own. You will see some people walk away without a word, and some doors will close without explanation. But I want you to know this. When I close a door, it is never to confine you. It is to protect you from what does not belong in your future. When I allow someone to step out of your life, it is not loss, it is protection. I am refining the circle around you so that those who walk with you in this new season will be those who lift you up, not pull you down. Those who leave are simply people who no longer fit the road ahead. There will be moments when you ask me, Lord, why must I endure so much? I understand that question more deeply than you know. But I want you to look within yourself and see this truth. Every trial you overcome is expanding your heart to carry more grace, more wisdom, and more love. The silent pain you have carried will become the substance of your compassion for others. The wounds you once thought would never heal will become the testimony of my healing power. And the day will come when you stand among those who are broken, and you will say from your own experience, I know he heals because he healed me. In that moment, the light in your eyes will awaken hope in those who never believed dawn could come for them. When you see darkness spreading across the world, do not assume that evil is winning. Remember that light does not need noise to triumph. Light only needs to be present, and you are part of that presence. You are the voice reminding others that truth has not been extinguished. You are the sign that my kindness is still at work. You are the proof of perseverance, of strength, of faith, held tightly through every storm. My beloved child, it is not only human hearts that are groaning for restoration. The very world you live in is also sighing for a new day. If you listen deeply, you will sense the silent cries of the land, the mountains, the seas, and the forests that were once lush but now stand bare. The rivers I created to bring life and freshness to all creatures have been covered with pollution, waste, and human indifference. But I tell you this, a time will come when murky waters will run clear again, when streams that seem dead will flow with new life, and this will not merely be an outward change, it will be the sign of a profound awakening within the heart of humanity. As Romans 8:22 says, "For we know that the whole creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth up to this present time. Creation is not silent. It is waiting for my children to rise, reclaim their true identity, and walk as those who know how to love, to protect, and to partner with my creation instead of destroying it." Imagine, my child, the forests that were once mercilessly stripped bare. Each fallen tree was not merely a patch of green erased, but also the loss of a sanctuary where countless creatures once found refuge. The cracked earth, the barren stretches of land, the eroded slopes, these are not only the consequences of misguided decisions on the outside, but also the mirror of desolate places within human hearts, where greed is fed, where selfishness is nurtured, where people forget that they were created to care for the world, not to destroy it. Yet I do not see only the devastation. I also see the new sprouts that will rise again. There will come a day when, on grounds that seem completely dead, green shoots will push through once more. New forests will be planted by hands that know repentance, by hearts that understand that my creation is a gift, not a commodity. The wind will once again carry the fragrance of life, and the air will hold the song of healing rather than the echo of lament. Humanity today, my child, stands at a great crossroads. There are those who choose to cling to greed, placing their own gain above all else, regardless of the pain they cause to others, to the land, and to the generations that will follow. They are swept into the whirlpool of power, wealth, and pleasure, blind to the truth that their own hearts are becoming hardened and empty. Yet there are also souls who, though confused and unsure of where to begin, are quietly awakening. They feel the suffocation of the old way of living. They hear a faint voice within calling them back to compassion, back to reverence for me, back to the love that has always existed in them, but was buried under fear and the harsh blows of life. This calling is not a roaring sound, but a whisper soft, delicate, but once anyone is willing to listen, it has the power to shake the entire landscape of their lives. And you, my beloved child, are among those I have chosen to help guide this awakening. I am not placing upon your shoulders the burden of transforming the whole world by yourself, but I am entrusting you with a portion of the work that only you can carry out in the way I desire. You will not merely speak of hope, you will become a living testimony of hope in a time when many feel tempted to abandon it. You will not simply urge others to return to love. The way you love in quiet, ordinary moments will become the most powerful invitation. You will not only talk about reconciliation, you will become the one willing to cross dividing lines, to extend your hand to those who are different, to live as though every person carries the worth I have placed within them, regardless of where they come from or what past they carry. I know that when you rise, there will be those who oppose you. Some will see you as naive, unrealistic, or lost in dreams. Some will try to silence your voice, distort your intentions, or even take advantage of your kindness. But do not let these things cause your heart to shrink back. Opposition is not proof that you are on the wrong path, nor is it a verdict against the calling you carry. Opposition is simply a test of the souls of those who resist, and a refining fire for your faith. It reveals what is hidden in their hearts, and it shows you what within yourself is strong and what still needs to be shaped by my hands. Remember this: your purpose is not measured by the number of applause you receive, nor is it defined by the number of people who reject you. Your purpose is measured by your faithfulness to what I have spoken and by how clearly you reflect my heart in each choice you make. If you allow rejection to make you retreat, you will miss the souls who are quietly waiting for the light that shines through you. Even when some dismiss your words, there will always be others whose hearts are silently touched by them. And sometimes, the ones who most loudly deny your message are the ones who have been pierced by it the deepest. They simply lack the courage to admit it, even to themselves. My child, I am calling you into the role of a guide, not with the weight of someone who must have every answer, but with the humility of one who walks step by step in trust. You are not required to explain everything happening in the world. You are not required to understand every path of mine. You only need to be faithful to the light you have today. I will lead you, step by step. I will open your eyes little by little. I will show you more widely and more deeply as your heart becomes ready to receive. Humility will keep you from pride when people listen to you, and from bitterness when they turn away. Humility will remind you that you are a guide, not the destination. The destination is always me, and you are the one who points the way, the companion on the journey, the bearer of light in the long night. In the years ahead, you will witness changes that are both frightening and beautiful. Old systems will collapse, selfish ways of living will reveal their decay, and counterfeit values will be stripped bare. Yet at the same time, you will also see lives restored, families mended, and small but compassionate communities rising like gardens blooming in the desert. You will walk between two worlds, one that is falling apart and one that is being born. And I will use you to help others step from the old world into the new, not through force, but through gentle invitation, patient presence, and a love that does not judge. So do not fear the frowning faces, and do not retreat before harsh words. Do not let the hardness of others turn your own heart to stone. Keep your heart soft yet steady, tender yet unshaken. Continue sowing, continue watering, continue praying, continue loving. The results may not always appear quickly, but I assure you that no seed of love, truth, or mercy ever disappears into nothingness. I remember each seed, I protect it, I nurture it, and at the time I choose, it will blossom and bear fruit in a way that will astonish even you. You are a guide for an awakening that draws nearer each day. Do not let fear bind your feet. Do not let resistance silence your voice. Allow me to continue writing your story so that, through you, this world will know there is still another path, the path of love, of truth, of healing, the path that leads back to me. My beloved child, let your heart open wide like a field longing for rain, for what I am about to tell you is not merely instruction but living water meant to seep into the driest places of your soul. As you step into the world carrying the mission I have placed in your hands, remember that the truth you speak must never be separated from compassion. Truth without love becomes a blade that wounds, but truth spoken from a gentle heart becomes a stream of light guiding weary souls home. Let every word you speak reflect kindness, so that anyone who listens may feel that you are speaking from a place of love, not pride or judgment. Act with courage, even when your hands tremble. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward even when fear tries to pull you back. And love without hesitation, without calculation, without turning love into something that must be earned. The future, my child, is woven from these small acts, each truth spoken with kindness, each courageous step taken, each loving action sown like seeds falling onto good soil. These things, accumulated over the years, create a current strong enough to redirect an entire world. There will be moments when the weight on your shoulders feels heavier than you can bear. There will be days when you wake with a heavy heart, wondering if you are truly equipped to face what lies ahead. You will question your strength, the wisdom of the choices you have made, and even your own worth. Not because you are weak, but because you are standing in the intersection between two worlds, the old world breaking apart and the new one emerging. Souls who carry light always feel the weight more deeply than those who live only for themselves. But when your heart sinks so low that you feel unable to take another step, return to me. Let my presence wash away your fear and doubt like cool water flowing over cracked ground. Let my breath become the new rhythm of your soul, so you know that you are not meant to carry everything alone. As Psalm 46:1 says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. You never bear your burden alone, even when you cannot feel. Me, I am holding you. No burden is too heavy when it is carried by faith. Faith does not make the burden disappear immediately, but it transforms the way you carry it. It turns the burden into opportunity, the trial into a lesson, and your weakness into the place where my power is revealed. There is no darkness so deep that the light I placed within you cannot pierce through it. Darkness only appears strong because it prefers to hide, but once light appears, darkness has no choice but to vanish. When you face obstacles with courage and purpose, no barrier is too great. The things that appear to be walls blocking your way are, in truth, doors waiting for you to push them open. As you continue stepping forward with steady persistence, you will begin to see that I have already placed bridges, connections, and unseen assistance where you once saw nothing. What you thought would stop you, I am using to carry you. What you assumed was the end, I am turning into the beginning of a new chapter. My child, your heart is not merely a place where emotions or thoughts reside. Your heart is the vessel I chose to carry, my grace. That grace is not only for you, but is waiting to be poured out so it may touch the lives around you. You do not know how many souls are waiting for a word, a gesture, or an act from you that will help them realize that I am still moving in their lives. You do not know how many people stand on the edge of despair, yet simply by seeing the way you remain steadfast in the storm, they will understand that hope still exists. My grace within you will become the hand that lifts the weak, the comfort that soothes the hurting, and the gentle rain that falls upon the driest places. Through you, countless lives will be touched, healed, and transformed not because of your ability, but because of your humility in allowing me to flow through you. You are the river, but I am the water. You are the lamp, but I am the oil. You are the sound, but I am the breath. The more you allow me to work within you, the clearer a channel you become for my light to pass through unhindered. There will be those who ask you, why do you keep loving when people hurt you? Others will wonder, why do you continue believing when everything around you seems to be falling apart? And your answer does not need to be a long explanation. All you need is to live, truly live in my peace, in my steadiness, in my love, and they will see it for themselves. You are a living letter sent into the world, a witness of unfailing love, a sign that even in chaos there is still a path that leads to life. Continue walking, my child. Do not rush, but do not stop. Do not let fear suffocate the courage I have placed within you. Do not let doubt cloud the light in your eyes. Do not allow the judgments of others to make you forget the purpose I gave you from the beginning. I am here in every breath you take, every beat of your heart, every step you place upon the ground. When you walk forward, you are not merely living, you are shaping the world in the way I have intended. My beloved child, as you move deeper into this journey, you will hear many voices. People will speak of crisis, of collapse, of chaos, of a future covered in darkness. They will say hope is fading, that there is nothing left to trust, nothing left to hold on to. But you will stand in the middle of that current as a living witness to a completely different truth, the unshaken power of love, of faith, and of righteousness. When many tremble in fear, you will remain steady. When others look toward the future with tired eyes, you will see it with the clarity of faith, not because you are stronger than they are, but because the light I placed within you is guiding you to a vision that is wider, deeper, and more eternal. You will witness the fall of kingdoms built on deceit, systems that seemed unshakable yet were decaying from within. You will see things built on greed, lies, and oppression finally bow before truth. And as the thrones of false power collapse, you will also witness new communities, humble, pure, full of love, rising from the ashes. These communities are not built on fame or position, but on faithfulness, justice, and enduring love. These are the communities I am preparing, and you will be part of that restoration. You will see hatred confronted with courage. In places where anger once seemed undefeatable, you will see patience and kindness break through layers of violence. You will see despair replaced with hope, not a vague or fragile hope, but one awakened within souls that are beginning to rise. Darkness, no matter how thick, will be overcome by light, not a loud, dramatic light, but a steady, unwavering one, strong enough to carve a line through the deepest night. As John 1-5 records, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. You are the one carrying that light into places that once seemed to have no way out. My child, this is the vision I placed before you, not as a distant dream meant to be admired from afar, but as a reality that can and will unfold, shaped through action, through faith, and through your unwavering devotion to truth. The future is not determined by the noise of the crowd, but by the souls who dare to remain faithful to what is right, no matter how small those acts may appear. The future is forged not through panic, but through steadfastness, not through anger, but through kindness, not through doubt, but through the understanding that I am still governing all things. You do not walk alone, my child. Do not think that this journey is a desolate road marked only by your own footprints. Others will come alongside you, people drawn to the peace in your eyes, to the light you carry in each step, to the words that soften the barren places within weary hearts. They will seek you out for guidance, for refuge, for renewed strength, not because you are perfect, but because you reflect the way I love them. That is what makes you a lamp in a darkened city, and anyone searching for light will naturally move toward you. Some of the people you encounter will stumble not because they are weak, but because they have lived too long with old wounds that no one has had the patience to help them heal. Some will lose their way not because they are stubborn, but because no one has ever shown them the path that leads to true peace. Yet all of them will have the chance to return to the way of love. No one is excluded from this journey. No one is left behind. The invitation belongs to everyone, and I want you to remember this, so that you do not become harsh or impatient with those who take longer to awaken. You must lead with patience, not only because others need time to awaken, but because patience itself is the expression of true love. No one can be forced to open their eyes. Awakening cannot be accelerated by pressure. It is a sacred process that unfolds according to the rhythm of each heart, each story, each old wound, slowly being healed. You are not called to push light upon anyone, but you are called to nurture it within them with wisdom, with compassion, with the steady endurance of faith. I know this will require much from you. There will be moments when you grow weary, when you feel you no longer have the strength to lift another soul. But I want you to know this. It is precisely when you feel empty that I am ready to fill you. It is exactly when you feel weak that I desire to reveal my strength through you. It is in the moments when you feel lost that I draw you closer to my heart, where you will find every answer you seek. Through you, many will remember that they have never been alone. Through you, they will sense the divine hand guiding every step of their journey. Through you, they will understand that no darkness, matter how deep, can extinguish the light of truth. Your faithful presence will be a testimony more powerful than any sermon, declaring that I am alive, I am at work, and I am making all things new. And my child, before you step deeper into the journey ahead, I want you to engrave this truth upon your heart. The enemy of your soul never approaches you openly with its true face. It does not come with horns and flames, as the images you once imagined. It comes through things that appear harmless, in sweetened words, in opportunities that seem irresistibly promising, in paths that look perfectly reasonable to human logic, but beneath them lie hollow ground, shifting sand, and hidden traps. The world you live in is flooded with noise, information, images, and artificial brilliance. On the surface, it can appear dazzling, fashionable, captivating, but I want you to remember this: not everything that glitters is light, and not everything quiet or unadorned is without value. The enemy is subtle, and the world is full of illusions. If you see only with natural eyes, you will be swept into its current without even realizing it. There will be paths that appear beautiful, safe, and right according to popular standards. Yet once you step onto them, your soul feels empty and unsettled. There will be teachings that sound noble, humane, and reasonable, yet beneath the surface, they slowly erode your faith in me, separating you from the true source of life. There will be relationships that outwardly seem warm and promising, yet deep down they pull you away from the person I have called you to become. My child, many will choose such paths because they are wide and easy, because they require no confrontation with the truth within, no repentance, no transformation. But you are different. You are called to walk on the path that not only appears right, but is truly right in my eyes, even if it is narrow, steep, and less traveled. You must therefore learn to discern with the utmost care and alertness of a soul that has been awakened by me. Do not be quick to believe what you hear the first time. Do not rush after something simply because many applaud it. Do not draw conclusions merely because something happens to align with your immediate emotions. Do not take rumors, the opinions of the majority, or the hurried rhythm of this age as the measure of truth. The only true measure you must rely on is the eternal wisdom I have already planted within you, illuminated by my word and by my Spirit, who is at work in your heart each day. As Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds you, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. You must not rely on your own calculations as your final source of confidence. I have placed within you more than fleeting thoughts. I have placed in you a spiritual intuition, a quiet yet genuine sensitivity that flows from staying close to me. That intuition may sometimes appear only as a small feeling that something is not right, a slight uneasiness when you are about to make a decision, a soft whisper saying, "Wait, look again, pray before you step." Do not take these signals lightly. They are not signs of weakness, nor proof that you are overly cautious, but often signs that my Spirit is pulling you away from a danger your mind has not yet recognized. When nurtured in prayer and in my word, that inner sense becomes an alarm bell, helping you stop at the very edge of the cliff where the enemy wants you to fall. Your conscience is also a gift. I have given you an inner mirror reflecting what is true and what is false. When you remain sensitive, your conscience will tremble every time you are about to step outside the boundary of light. But if you continually ignore it, if you deliberately shut your ears to its inner warnings, that voice will slowly fade, dimming like a lamp running out of oil. I do not want this to happen to you. I want your conscience to remain bright, tender, and clear, so that even the smallest deviation unsettles you enough to return to me immediately, instead of waiting until you have wandered too far. And above all, your unshakable faith is the anchor that keeps you from drifting. Faith is not simply an emotional surge that rises in moving moments. It is a deep decision of the soul that says, no matter what my eyes see, no matter what my ears hear, I choose to trust the one who loves me and redeemed me with his own blood. Faith makes you stand still while the world trembles. Faith keeps you from changing direction just because the winds of rumor shift. Faith prevents you from selling your soul for a little temporary safety. When every standard is being rewritten, when people call darkness light and light darkness, faith will help you remember the first voice that called you by name, the voice that has never deceived you. Your intuition, your conscience, and your faith do not exist apart from me. They are channels, small mirrors that reflect my presence within you. When you value them and nurture them through closeness with me, they form an inner lamp that guides you through the fog of this age. Trust what I awaken inside you, even when every voice around you urges you to move in the opposite direction. Never forget that the deepest place within you where I dwell is always quiet but never silent. There will be seasons when others question you. They will doubt your choices, doubt the path you walk, and even doubt the intentions of your heart. Some will say you are too stubborn, too extreme, or too unusual, simply because you refuse to blend into the compromises they consider normal. There will also be times when the whole world seems to tilt, when values are overturned, standards loosened, and people grow weary enough to accept anything that eases the pain, even for a moment. In such times, I will raise you up as a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not chase the waves. It stands firm, unmovable, through rising waters and pounding winds. It is not a ship, yet it is the light that guides ships. It does not avoid storms, it stands in the midst of them, and you will be the same if you cling to me. You are not called to dissolve into the darkness for the sake of an easier life, but to stand firm in the very place where many choose to withdraw. The light in you will not be a noisy shout, but a steady, unwavering flame that does not go out, so that anyone lost on the dark sea of night may look toward you and find their way home. My child, I know that what I have called you to do is not simple. I know that walking against the current has never been comfortable, but you are not left alone with that responsibility. Whenever you are uncertain about what to believe, come to me. Whenever you feel surrounded by too many conflicting voices, be still in me. Whenever you feel the pressure to be like everyone else, remember that I have called you out of the crowd not to make you proud, but to make you free. Free from illusions, free from dependence on praise and criticism, free from the invisible cords that bind your soul to the fear of being rejected. When you choose to remain close to me, you will learn how to live in the world without belonging to it. You will learn to see everything with renewed eyes, eyes that do not stop at outward appearance, but pierce through to the very essence within. You will no longer be easily captivated by false brilliance, for you have tasted a deeper and more enduring beauty that comes from my very presence. And day by day, you will become the lighthouse I have destined you to be, unpretentious, unassuming, yet steady, faithful, and unwavering in your light. Therefore, my child, be courageous in keeping your spirit sensitive. Listen to the whispers of the Holy Spirit within you more than the noise of human voices. Use a clean conscience as the mirror through which you examine every thought and every step. Let faith become the backbone that keeps you standing upright through every change. When others doubt, remain steadfast. When the world trembles, hold fast to me, and you will see that even in the midst of swirling currents, you will remain in a place of peace, for you have chosen to let me be your only foundation, your only truth, and your only guiding light. My beloved child, open your heart to receive my words, for what I am about to speak is not meant to plant fear, but to prepare your soul to stand firm in the days that will test both the earth and the hearts of humankind. The hour is coming not slowly, but drawing near like breath, when the nations will tremble before upheavals no one can restrain. Power structures built on pride, schemes, and greed will begin to shift, and everything that was hidden will be exposed under the light. Those who walk in darkness, believing they will never be uncovered, will discover. that nothing is concealed from me. Voices once confident in their dominion will grow faint, and systems once thought untouchable will collapse at a single breath from me. But my child, I speak to you with a voice of peace. These upheavals do not come to frighten you, but to renew the world. Do not view the shaking of nations as a sign of the end, but as the heavy rain that comes before a new harvest. When the soil is overturned, new seeds are given room to sprout. When decayed and corrupted structures are torn down, the ground is prepared to rebuild what is truer, purer, and more reflective of my heart. From the ashes of corruption, abuse of power, and empty promises, new communities will rise. Not communities built on strength or ambition, but on humility, compassion, and integrity. Those who were once overlooked will be lifted up. Voices once ignored will be heard. Those who lived quietly in righteousness will become pillars of a new season of restoration. You will witness the impossible become reality, for when I breathe revival into the world, no force can hinder it. Hearts, once hardened by cruelty, by wounds, and by years of numbness will soften not by force, but by my gentle touch. When storms come, people learn to recognize what truly matters. When everything they relied upon collapses, their hearts become tender, ready to receive what is new. I will use these very tremors to open doors for love, to enter places that have long been sealed shut. And when humility begins to grow within them, what the world believed impossible will begin to bloom. Then all humanity will remember a truth they have forgotten amid noise and striving, that love is stronger than hatred, faith stronger than fear, and truth stronger than every form of counterfeit power. My love never fails, never fades, and is never defeated. As 1 Corinthians 13:8 says, love never fails. This is what I want you to hold firmly in your heart, for it is the foundation of the mission you carry. My child, in the days of shaking, you are not merely an observer, you are an instrument I have chosen to step into the very currents of history. You are the vessel through which my light will shine, so that humanity may see me moving, healing, and renewing all things. You are not a passing breeze, but the echo of heaven in the midst of the world. You have been placed in the right moment, the right generation, the right atmosphere to carry a flame no storm can extinguish. I have planted within you a sensitivity that perceives what is unfolding behind the veil of the visible world. I have woven into your life experiences that deepen your understanding of the true nature of power, of truth, and of mercy. I have refined you in the furnace of trials, so you may be strong without becoming hardened, gentle without becoming frail, and wise without becoming proud. None of these things are accidental. They are the preparation for the mission I am now placing into your hands. You will bring a healing heart to the places that are wounded. You will be a voice of comfort in days when people tremble. You will be a path for the wandering to find their way back to truth. You will be a light cutting through layers of darkness, not a light that boasts, but a light that endures, steady and unextinguished. Others may see only chaos, but you will see opportunity. They may perceive threat, but you will perceive vision. You will not look at the world with old eyes, you will see it through mine. Your calling is not measured by the applause of people, but by the measure of your faithfulness to what I entrust to you. When you stand firm in truth, you become a shelter for those seeking direction. When you walk in love, you become a stream of life to barren places. When you live by faith, you become the reminder that no darkness can overcome the light. Through you, people will remember that I never abandon them, never forget them, and never leave them to drown in hopelessness. My child, be ready to step into that time not with trembling, but with the peace of one who knows they are held in the hands of the Almighty. I go before you, I stand beside you, I guard behind you, I cover you, and I am renewing the world through your very life. My beloved child, listen deeply, For the words I now speak are not sounds that rise and fade, but streams of living water flowing into your soul, taking root, sprouting forth, and growing the things I planted in you long ago. You are not here by accident. Not one of your steps has strayed outside my providence. Not a single moment of your life has been wasted. I have called you not to utter empty words or fill the air with meaninglessness, but because your spirit has reached its appointed moment of maturity, the moment in which you can finally understand and receive the lessons I have woven through all of human history, from the beginning until this very day. Since the dawn of creation, from the moment I breathed into humanity and they became a living soul, I placed within them a profound truth, the capacity to grow through trials. No one is called to live a bland, untouched life without tension or challenge. For faith untested is like a lamp without flame. It may look like something, but it cannot illuminate. It is like a seed never buried in the soil, potential present, but never becoming life. It is like a river without a current. It exists, but it quenches no one's thirst. I do not test the hearts of my children only in the grand crises of history. I test them in the smallest and quietest moments of their lives, in the words they choose, in the way they respond to betrayal, in the patience they show when they do not understand. And now, it is your turn. What I am doing in you is not new. It is part of the great story I have told through Abraham, through Moses, through David, through Elijah, through Job, through Paul, and through countless others the world never knew, yet heaven remembers by name. As James 1-3 reminds you, for you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Trials are not sent to break you, but to make you stronger, deeper, and more like me. I want you to understand a vital truth. Testing is not punishment. It is not a sign that I have turned my face away. On the contrary, your testing is evidence that I see something in you worth refining. I see value in you, and so I place you in the process of purification. I see strength in you, and so I allow challenges to sharpen it. I see light in you, and so I permit you to walk through darkness for a time, so that the light within you may burn more clearly for those who are lost. Refinement is the purifying fire in which everything that does not belong to you is burned away, and only what I have placed within you is preserved. It is like the furnace prepared for gold, not to destroy the gold, but to separate it from all impurities. In that fire, your devotion will be revealed, not devotion born from convenience, but devotion rooted in the knowledge of the one you follow. There, courage will take shape, not because you are strong, but because you know I am standing beside you. And in that same furnace, your wisdom will grow, not the kind shaped by the world, but the understanding that comes from me, from learning how to hear my voice amid countless other noises. Throughout Scripture, I have shown humanity this truth. I caused Abraham to wait when every hope seemed extinguished, so he would understand that my promises are not confined by time. I allowed Job to lose everything so that true faith might be revealed as the one thing that cannot be shaken when all else collapses. I led Moses into 40 years of desert life before he became the one who would guide my people through the Red Sea. I let the disciples face real storms on the sea so they would know that no wind is stronger than my voice when I declare, "Peace, be still." These stories were not written to be read and forgotten. They stand as living proof that testing is inseparable from the journey of belonging to me. And in your generation, these truths still echo, still call, still breathe. My child, you are invited not merely to understand these truths with the mind, but to listen to them with the fullness of your heart, with the wounds you have carried, with the failures you have lived through, with the loneliness you have tasted, with the prayers you have whispered through tears. When you read the pages of Scripture again, you will recognize your own story within them. When you look back at the path behind you, you will realize that I have used every hardship to mature your spirit. I have used every season of sorrow to plant in you an understanding no book could ever teach. I have placed within you sensitivity, patience, and endurance, not so you may keep them hidden, but so you may become a guide for souls who have not yet found their way. You are living in a time when testing does not touch only individuals but communities, nations, and the entire world. But do not tremble. I am calling you not to be a mere observer, but to become a bearer of hope, a bridge connecting me to those who long for truth but do not know where to search. I am lifting you up so you may become a steady voice in the midst of confusion, a helping hand for those who feel their strength is gone, and a small flame capable of rekindling lives that seem to have gone dark. And I want you to remember this: you are not called to walk alone. The trials you endure are not meant for you alone. They are meant to become comfort for those who will enter their own trials after you. Once you have been refined, you will discover that your heart has become softer, wider, and more compassionate. You will know how to see others not only with your eyes, but with mercy. You will understand that every person is wrestling with something unseen, and that understanding will make your words seeds of hope, your presence a shelter, and your gaze a quiet affirmation that they are not alone. My child, I have seen every tear you have shed. I have heard every hidden sigh. I have witnessed every time you stood up again when you believed you could not. And now I am calling you to go deeper, to walk farther, to stand firmer, not because I need proof of anything, but because I want you to witness the glory I am preparing to reveal through your very life. Walk forward with trust. Walk with a heart open to my leading. Walk with the peace that the world cannot give, and you will see the very things that once frightened you will become testimonies of my power, and the trials that once wounded you will become the stones that build the noble calling I placed in your hands before the world was formed. My beloved child, let your heart open deeply, for what I am about to speak is not merely to comfort you, but to place within your soul the understanding that one who is mature in faith must possess. I know you have walked through seasons that made you wonder, why do trials keep coming again and again? Why must I pass through things that break my heart? But, my child, I want you to hear this clearly. The challenges you face are not signs of my anger toward you, nor indicators that I have forgotten you. On the contrary, it is because you belong to me, because I see in you a potential the world cannot recognize, that I allow these refinings to touch your life so they may shape you, purify you, and awaken the strength that has long been resting within you. You will go through difficult seasons, this is certain, but never think that I take pleasure in your pain. Not a single tear you shed escapes my count. Not a single sigh goes unheard. Not a single night passes without me standing beside you. These trials are not meant to crush you. They are meant to cause you to rise, to let the strength I placed within you be revealed, and to make the light I planted in you shine even more brilliantly in the midst of darkness. The world sees only difficulty, but I see opportunity. The world sees storms, but I see doors opening for maturity. The world sees failure, but I see the shaping of a stronger, deeper, brighter version of you. My child, remember the story of the Israelites in the wilderness, a story I wrote not only for them, but for you, for your generation, and for souls like yours who are learning to walk in faith. Their 40 years were not a misguided journey, but a spiritual school where every day and every moment was a lesson in obedience, perseverance, and trust. They faced hunger, faced the doubts of their own hearts, and faced fear about the future. They complained, grew weary, and stumbled, yet I never left them, not even for a single day. When they hungered, I gave them manna from heaven, something no one had ever seen before. When they thirsted, I caused water to flow from the rock so they would know that their sustenance did not come from circumstances but from the one who governs circumstances. When they were lost, I led them by a pillar of cloud by day to shield them from the burning sun, and a pillar of fire by night to keep them from losing their way in the darkness. Not one step they took was solitary. Not 1 hour passed outside my covering. As Deuteronomy 31:8 declares, the Lord himself goes before you. He will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not fear, and do not be dismayed. So it is with you, my beloved child. You will have your own wilderness times when your path seems veiled like a fog-covered road, days when sustenance does not feel as near as before, nights when your soul feels wrapped in silence with no sign of hope in sight. Your wilderness may not be a literal desert of sand, but a season in which you feel misplaced in the world. It may be the months you pray without seeing answers, the seasons you sow without yet seeing a harvest, the moments when your heart hangs suspended between longing and reality. But, my child, do not despair. For just as I did not abandon Israel, I will never abandon you. I am providing for you even when you do not perceive it. I am guiding you through each stretch of the journey even when you believe you are walking in the dark. I am breaking the schemes of the enemy long before they ever reach you. And I am performing quiet miracles in your life, miracles you will only recognize when you look back. My child, every time you are tested, I see you drawing closer to the destiny I have ordained for you. Every time your heart feels uncertain, it is a sign that I am expanding your spiritual vision. Every time you feel weak, it is the moment I am preparing to reveal my strength in you. Every time you believe you are losing something, it is because I am clearing the space for something better, greater, and eternally more beautiful. The wilderness does not abandon you. The wilderness shapes you, for it is only in the wilderness that you learn your source of life. It does not come from what you possess, but from the one who is always with you. It is only in the wilderness that you begin to hear the difference between my voice and the noise of the world. It is only in the wilderness that you understand true strength is not found in control, but in surrender. And there is one more thing, my child, that I want you to hold tightly. Trials do not merely build strength, trials form character. When you remain standing though the world around you shakes, you reveal that your roots are planted deeply in good soil. When you choose to love even when love is not returned, you show that my love is flowing through you. When you continue to trust even when you see no change, you prove that your faith is built on rock and not on sand. You are not merely being sustained, you are being prepared. You are not simply surviving, you are rising to become a witness. You are not only passing through trials, you will emerge carrying a greater light, with eyes that see farther, with a heart that has deepened, and with a tenderness capable of embracing wandering souls. My child, keep going. Do not stop because of fear. Do not grow weary because of confusion. I am right here in each of your steps, in every heartbeat, in every breath. I led those who walked before you, and I will lead you as well. I performed wonders in their lives, and I am performing wonders in you. And at the appointed time, you will understand that every trial you have endured was part of the journey that shaped you into the strong, radiant, and complete being I have called you to become. My beloved child, as you continue walking through this season of refining, know that there are depths of life only those forged in fire can reach. There are truths revealed only when familiar supports are removed, and there is wisdom that appears only when you travel beyond the places your reasoning can explain. From the deepest quiet, light often begins to rise, not light from the outside, but a radiance born within you, from the place where I dwell. There will be seasons when you feel cut off from everything familiar. The people you once trusted may drift away, the places that once gave you peace may feel empty, and the things you believed you understood may suddenly become strange. Do not let these moments convince you that I have withdrawn from your life. On the contrary, there are times when I allow you to walk into silence so that I may separate you from the noise that you did not realize was drowning out my voice within you. When I lead you into stillness, I am not making you lonely, I am making you perceptive. I do not use silence to punish you. I use silence to engrave into your spirit what chaos could never teach. And it is within that quiet that you will come to understand what those before you learned. I do not always speak through thunder. Sometimes I speak through a peace as gentle as breath, through a tender stirring, through an inner certainty that no logic can describe. My child, the trials you are facing now are not accidental. They are bridges leading you into a deeper dimension of faith. They teach you that life is not measured by what you own, but by the maturity of your soul. They remind you that real strength does not come from what you control, but from what you surrender. I want you to understand that in every pain, I am touching places within you that you never dared to let anyone see. I am healing wounds you believed were already healed but were only hidden. I am reshaping distorted beliefs carried from childhood, replacing thoughts that have suffocated your spiritual growth, uprooting fears that made you smaller than the dignity I placed upon you. Remember this, no pain appears without purpose. Every tear can become a seed. Every disappointment can become the foundation of a new beginning. And every moment you feel as though you are breaking apart, I am fitting your soul together in ways you could never accomplish without me. There will be people who look at your trials and do not understand. They will ask, "Why must you endure this?" They may pity you, judge you, or form their own assumptions. But you do not need to explain to anyone the way I am working in your life. What I am doing within you is not meant to impress the world, it is meant to prepare you for a calling they cannot carry with you. I am preparing you for things that are higher, wider, and deeper. I am teaching you to feel compassion for the suffering, because you yourself have walked through suffering. I am teaching you to be patient with those who are lost, because you once wandered in confusion. I am teaching you to recognize the darkness behind a smile, because you once smiled while your own heart was in pain. I am teaching you to listen with your spirit, not just with your ears, because you once longed for someone who could truly listen to you. When you come to understand the frailty of humanity, you will be entrusted with the strength to lift them up. When you learn how to rise again after your own failures, you will know how to extend your hand to someone who has collapsed. When you learn to trust me in the dark, you will become a light for those who are searching for a way out. My child, I want to speak to you about something few people understand: the moment of transition. Before a new season begins in the soul, there is often a sense of restlessness, disorder, and uncertainty. This is not a sign that you are going the wrong way. It is a sign that the old is breaking apart so that the new can be born. Just as the soil must be broken before seeds can be planted, your soul must experience disruption before it steps into a new phase. You cannot cling to what is old and expect something new to take root. There are relationships that must be released, habits that must be broken, and ways of thinking that must be transformed. None of this is meant to rob you. It is meant to lighten you for the journey ahead. I never take anything from you unless I intend to replace it with something better. Remember my promise in Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not perceive it? Sometimes the new thing does not arrive with fireworks or celebration. It comes quietly, in small changes that only those who pay attention can recognize. But once you allow me to renew you from within, everything around you will begin to shift accordingly. My child, in the days when you feel your weakest, remember that strength is not the absence of fatigue, but the willingness to keep walking even when you no longer feel capable. True strength is not found in perfection, but in perseverance. The strongest ones are not those who never cry, but those who dare to cry and still rise again. I see every step you take, every moment you try, even when you feel exhausted, every time you turn away from what is wrong, even when the wrong seems easier, every time you choose love instead of reacting from your pain. This is the strength heaven acknowledges. This is the strength no one can steal from you. One day, You will look back and realize that every trial, every storm, every moment when you thought you were breaking became one of the most important chapters in your story. Not because those moments were beautiful, but because they changed you. Not because they were comfortable, but because they opened your eyes. Not because they were gentle, but because they made you more like me. But remember this, your journey is not merely a journey of endurance, it is a journey of transformation. You do not walk through trials just to survive. You walk through them to be upgraded. Every lesson I teach you is designed to prepare you for a higher calling. Every time you conquer confusion, you step closer to the wholeness I have destined for you. Imagine a grain of wheat. It must lie in the dark soil, alone, absorbing moisture, breaking apart before it can push upward into new life. If it refuses the darkness, it will never become a harvest. You are the same. What you are living through is not an ending. It is the birthplace of something new forming within you. And then, one day, you will rise like a tree growing in dry ground, strong, vibrant, unshaken by the winds that once made you tremble. Not because your own strength carried you, but because you allowed me to shape you. My child, I also want you to know that what I am doing within you is not meant for you alone. I am preparing you to become a bearer of courage for many other souls. When you learn to stand firm in trials, you will know how to help others stand firm. When you learn to hear me in the silence, you will know how to guide others toward my voice. When you learn to entrust everything into my hands, you will become a place of refuge for those whose hearts are collapsing. You are not the only light, but you are a light that cannot be replaced. No one else can stand in the place I have appointed for you. No one else can do the work I have entrusted to you in the way I desire it to be done. No one else can speak to the world with the voice I have placed within you. You are an instrument. You are the arm I will use. You are the living testimony that no darkness can ever overcome a soul I have touched. Whenever you remain faithful, you will see what I have promised. Whenever you continue walking, you will behold what today you cannot yet understand. Whenever you keep your heart soft and your eyes lifted upward, you will recognize that I am opening a way where no path seems to exist. I am here, I go before you, I stand beside you. And I will turn every trial into a stepping stone that leads you to the place I have prepared. My child, as you walk through the seasons of refining that I have allowed into your life, there is something deeper I desire you to grasp. Not every challenge I permit is meant to test your faith. Many exist to unlock depths within your soul that only shaking can awaken. There are parts of your spirit that have slept for too long, parts I placed within you that have never been used, parts that come alive only when you stand at the crossroads of fear and courage. The fire I have kindled inside you cannot grow if you do not pass through the night. The light within you cannot become radiant if you have never stood in places where darkness feels endless. My child, you belong to the generation I am calling into an entirely new era. This is not the time for shallow hearts, nor for those who follow me only when it is easy. This is the time for spiritual warriors, those who understand that loving me is not choosing the convenient path, but the purposeful one. This is the era in which I sift those who only speak but do not act, those who serve only when it benefits them, those who seek comfort without seeking transformation. But you are not among them. You have been forged to stand where others refuse to stand, to love when others turn away, to believe when every sign seems to suggest doubt. And, my child, know this, in the days when you feel the weakest, I see you as the strongest. True strength is not the absence of trembling, but the choice to keep holding my hand while everything else is falling apart. The truly courageous are not those who never fear, but those who continue walking through fear. You have often wondered why your heart is placed in situations that leave you wounded, but I tell you that these very wounds make you more like me, more tender, more compassionate, more deeply human in the way that reflects my heart. In your generation, The world will tremble under forces beyond human control, upheavals in society, storms in politics, moral decay, and spiritual confusion. You will witness things once considered unshakable begin to crumble. You will see foundational values tested. You will see many people paralyzed by uncertainty, unsure of what is true and what is false. But, my child, do not let your heart be troubled, for in the midst of such chaos, my light will shine even more brightly. You were placed in this age not to observe, but to participate in the greatest restoration of many generations. You are part of a network of hearts I am awakening across the earth, people who know how to hear me above the noise, who dare to walk with me without a map, who lay their hands upon broken souls and speak words of healing. You are a thread in the great tapestry I am weaving, and without you, the tapestry would lose a shade of color no other thread could replace. My child, do not underestimate the work I am doing within you. Do not think that the small shifts in your thoughts, the moments when you choose forgiveness instead of retaliation, the times you choose silence instead of arguing, or the moments you kneel even when you no longer feel anything are insignificant. There is no such thing as small in my kingdom. A tiny seed can grow into a mighty tree. A consistent action can become a habit. A habit can become a character, and a character can shape a destiny that unfolds into a stream of influence far greater than anything you ever dared to imagine. What begins today in the quiet of your heart will one day become a flame that guides generations yet to come. My child, every choice you make, every seemingly small decision, every moment you choose light over darkness is weaving a spiritual legacy that only heaven can fully measure. I want you to understand something that only those who are mature in spirit can grasp. True transformation never happens in a single moment. It is formed through thousands of small moments in which you choose me over your own impulses. You become more like me, not through grand miracles, but through each breath lived in attentive surrender, each thought purified, each word chosen out of love rather than reaction. My child, you are being trained for a mission far greater than what you currently see. You are not merely someone who has been saved, you are someone who will help save others. You are not merely someone who has been healed, you are someone who will carry healing into places filled with despair. You are not merely someone who has been loved, you are someone who will reveal my love to hearts that believe they can never open again. I am leading you out of your comfort zone so I can place you where the light within you can be seen. You will speak to the hopeless with the voice I have placed inside you. You will touch the broken-hearted with the compassion I have poured into you. You will walk into dark places that others fear, for the light you carry does not come from you, it comes from me. My child, understand that when I choose you, I do not look at your strengths. I look at the willingness of your soul. Those who believe they are strong often resist being taught. But the one who recognizes their weakness is the one I can build upon. And you are one of those one who knows that everything you have comes from me, and everything you will become rests fully in my hands. Now pray this: Lord, in the seasons of testing that you allow to touch my life, grant me a heart that sees not only the burden before me, but also the deeper purpose you are shaping within me. When my path becomes dry like a wilderness, remind me that you are still leading me step by step with your pillar of cloud and pillar of fire. Let your strength uphold me on the days when I am weak, and let your love be the breath that restores me when I have nothing left to lean on. Holy One, help me understand that testing is neither punishment nor abandonment, but the refining fire of my soul. Open my eyes to see that you are using every difficulty to purify my intentions, sharpen my faith, and reveal your glory through my very weakness. When I do not understand what is happening, help me trust that you are working in the unseen places, accomplishing your purposes even in the dark. Lord, in the seasons when you lead me into silence, when familiar things fade away and every step feels heavy, please help me not to mistake that silence as distance. Make my heart sensitive enough to recognize that your quietness is the place where my soul is healed, shaped, and taught. Let me feel your breath as gentle comfort, so that not a single day passes where I feel abandoned in this life. Lord, among the countless voices of the world, grant me ears that can discern your voice. Help me recognize truth beneath what only appears right, and uncover deception hidden beneath polished appearances. Let my spiritual discernment, my clean conscience, and my steadfast faith become the trio that guides my path, ensuring I do not stray from your way. May your light illuminate every decision, every action, and each step I take. Lord, use me as an instrument in your hand in this chaotic generation. Place within me a flame that never burns out, so I may bring light into dark places, strengthen weary souls, and guide those searching for direction. Make me a refuge for the hopeless and a voice of hope in places where people believe there is nothing left to hope for. Lord, when battles grow long and my days feel weighed down with sorrow, help me remember that you never abandon me. Lift me up with your mighty hand. Remind me that you have counted every tear I've shed, and that not one of them is meaningless. Let me find rest in your presence, where I no longer need to be strong, because you, yourself, are my strength. Lord, renew my heart day by day. Uproot the fears, doubts, and wounds that have lingered from the past, and replace them with peace, kindness, and unshakable faith. Transform me from the inside out, so I no longer react by instinct, but act through your love. Shape me into the version you intended from the beginning of creation, a tender heart, a resilient spirit, and a soul that loves without holding anything back. Lord, as the old season ends and a new one draws near, help me not cling to what you have called me to release. Give me courage to step into what is new even when I cannot see the whole picture. Lead me into the season of restoration, revelation, and growth that you have prepared. Make me light, free, and ready to receive whatever you desire to place in my hands. Lord, I know you are gradually opening the door of calling over my life, and I offer my whole soul to your will. Place on my lips the words you desire to speak. Place in my hands the work you desire to accomplish, and place within my heart a heart shaped like yours. Help me love without condition, serve without calculation, and remain faithful even when I do not see immediate reward. May I become a light that reflects you to a world longing for what is true. Lord, I place my entire life into your hands, the things I understand and the things I do not, the joys I cherish and the pain I fear to face. I surrender my future, my journey, and every single day. Lead me, for I know there is no path safer than the one you open. Fulfill everything you have appointed for my life, so that I may not live for myself, but live to glorify your name in this world. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can continue building a strong community of faith together.